Hello everyone, my name is Andrew Stone, and this is my proposal to address vacant lots and post-industrial sites in Detroit, specifically looking at the area of North Corktown. Beginning to look at the area of North Corktown, there has been a strong decline in population in the area, and as such, there are numerous vacant buildings in various states of disrepair. The vacancy and blight of the area have led to a vast amount of unused space, abandoned houses, and decaying infrastructure. In the map in the upper left, you can see the housing density of the 1940s compared to the housing density of present day, as shown in the lower right-hand corner. This really shows that the area of vacancy has been primarily focused to the center of the district, whereas the eastern and western ends retained more of their density, although they also still experienced a strong decline in population. Presently, there are vast amounts of open space, both marginally maintained by city employees and private owners, and entirely abandoned and overgrown, as you can see in the image on the left. The open space in the central part of the district has experienced the most vacancy, and in turn, a process of increased natural growth has occurred. In regards to vacancy, the area has seen a strong decline in population since the 1940s. In these maps, you can see the census tracts that house the highest population density throughout the years. Since 1940, there's been a systematic decline of population in the dense urban core as increased suburbanization has occurred. The natural growth in the area has primarily been a result of this vacancy. The new open space has led to the movement of a number of natural species back into the area, including rabbits, squirrels, moles, and birds, as well as a resurgence of both native and invasive plant species. In looking at the entirety of Corktown, there are pockets of development and a number of barriers that both caused and were the effect of um, vacancy in the area. Starting at the right of this section, located at the Detroit River and moving north through all the way through to North Corktown, there's an area of light industry that acts as a barrier between the human and natural environment, um, specifically looking at the Detroit River. Moving slightly further north, planned residential developments really further prevented natural growth um, by creating, really carefully manicured lawns and trees. Um, Whereas historic housing located slightly north of that really embodies a lesser sense of human interaction, um, thereby experiencing a slightly more natural appearance in regards to plant and animal life. Moving a little bit further north, Michigan Central Station and its associated railway lines, abandoned railway lines that is, act as a massive barrier not only to natural growth but also human development. Um, the epitome of the destructive human interaction in the area, however, is shown by I 75, which acts as a strong barrier between the built and natural environments between Corktown proper and North Corktown. And then finally, the area of North Corktown embodies the effects of destructive human involvement um, through its vacancy, which in turn created the most natural environment in the area. The vacancy in the area of North Corktown is primarily a result of both suburbanization of southeast Michigan as well as the severing of the connection between Corktown and North Corktown. The vacancy in the area acted kind of like a domino effect, where one vacant lot appeared, it decreased the property values of the adjacent lots, um, which then also in turn became vacant. And this spiraling effect led to more and more natural plant and animal life developing in the area. Looking at this in greater detail, there's a number of barriers that both led to and developed from the issues of vacancy. Maintained abandoned lots in the area effectively act as a human controlled barrier between the built and natural environments and the human and natural environments, in that the continued maintenance prevents the natural growth of natural species in the area. Looking more into the actual homes of North Corktown, there exists a disconnect in the way that people interact with the natural environment, with many of them experiencing nature and the natural environment through computer and television screens. To help address this disconnect between the built and natural environments, the removal of underutilized streets and infrastructure could theoretically lead to an increased natural growth in the area, ultimately resulting in more and more natural growth immediately adjacent to one's home, and thereby um, reducing and mitigating that disconnect. In turn, increased natural growth presents additional habitation opportunities for natural species, such as birds and squirrels. Traveling a bit further south, the area immediately adjacent to Michigan Central Station also experiences a great amount of disconnect in regards to the natural environment. The numerous abandoned railway lines and boarding platforms act as barriers, as well as the station itself acting as a very strong barrier. To address this issue, removing the railway lines and increasing the porosity of the station could lead to a stronger natural presence in the area. Specifically, opening up the tower of the building could lead to a great deal of plant and animal life occupying the building itself, with a strong opportunity for the building to act as a large dovecote for natural species such as birds, serving as a nesting area for species within the region. As previously mentioned, the area of I-75 was one of the primary causes of vacancy in the area. Before the construction of the freeway, the area of North Corktown was connected to Corktown proper by a number of streets that helped to serve the residents of North Corktown with various commercial uses such as restaurants, grocery stores, stuff like that. But the construction of the freeway severed nearly all of these connections and led to further decreasing population of the area. Looking in further detail, parking lots, Michigan Avenue, various buildings in the area, and the freeway itself act as very strong barriers to natural growth and serve as the primary impediment to a human-nature relationship. To address this issue, covering the entirety of I-75 with a land bridge could help to reconnect the natural and built environments within the void between North Corktown and Corktown proper, while decreasing the destructive effects of the freeway on the area. Really similar to the Big Dig project, which was completed in Boston in 2002, this bridge and connection would help to mitigate the disconnect caused by the construction of I-75. Michigan Avenue would remain a strong barrier to the built and natural environment just because of its historic and dense use that occurs in the area. Whereas the bridge itself would allow for the natural environment to continue to grow south from the area of North Corktown that's already experiencing a lot of that natural growth, and really bring it south into the area and closer to the area of human interaction. And you can see that as outlined in this model. Thanks for listening.